If you are rapidly approaching the age of 30 or 29 or 28 and you feel like you have to get all of your shit together before 30, come closer. Come closer. That's bullshit. You don't. Okay? You don't. Today we're going to be talking all about what happens when you start approaching the age of 30, the 30. And I just want to start off by saying, now I don't know about you guys, but when I turn, I would say like 27, yeah, about 27, I started to freak out. I like seriously started to freak out. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to turn 30 in 3 years. But the thing is, I feel like I was freaking out because I felt like I had to freak out as opposed to like me freaking out because I'm feeling nervous about turning 30, if that makes any sense. It's almost like there's an expectation. I feel like there is an expectation that when you hit 30, you should either have all of your shit together. You should be married, you should have a child, at least one, or be pregnant. You should be in the healthiest relationship ever, and married to that individual. You should have a house, you should have a car, you should have, and not just a house, a mortgage, by the way. Don't be out here just, renting. Like, you should just be having all of these things, everything. Your finance should be in the best position ever. You should be in your career that you're going to do for the rest of your life. Like, there is this expectation that when you hit 30, if you don't have it together, you're missing out on something. Like, you're in the loser club. Like, you've just lucked out in the worst way possible. And side note, if my voice starts going croaky, which I can feel it is, I can hear it too, I am fighting off a cold right now, and I mean fighting. I'm fighting it. I refuse to get sick in the name of Jesus. I just genuinely refuse to get sick. Like, it's actually quite mad. The next video welcome back, guys. My voice is completely gone. Yeah, my mum is really sick right now. My mum is, she out here just I'm so sick, and I'm like, move from me, please. I can't catch it. Anyway, yeah, there is this expectation that once you hit 30, you need to be in like the best position you've ever been in, and your life should be set. Like, at this point, you've hit autopilot, and it's just, it's just a nice cruise on down the road now because everything is perfect, and you've spent the last 30 years of your life prepping for this exact moment where you get to push the big red button that says autopilot forever, and then from there on out it's just smooth fucking sailing. Like, that is just not how life works. And I feel like internally when I hit 27, I wasn't actually panicking myself, but externally I kind of felt like I had to, because it kind of was just part of like tradition. So this is what happens when you don't when you don't fully know who you are, by the way. You kind of just go with whatever. So yeah, like, all my friends were like, oh my God, like, you're going to be 20, you're going to be 30 in like 3 years time. You're not freaking out? And in my head, I was like, no. But in front of other people, I was like, oh my God, oh, 30. Oh my God, I'm so scared to be 30. I'm not. And now I can say that with my chest. I'm 29. I just turned 29 actually like 2 weeks ago, 2 and a bit weeks ago, I would say, 19th of November, from today's date. And it's just, it is what it is. Like, in my head, I'm going to live until at least 90. So, so I got a couple of more years to go, just a couple. And I'm not panicking. It's like, I'm in a good place right now. Mentally, I'm probably more resilient and strong than I've ever been. Physically, could I be physically fitter? Probably, but I'm working on that. I'm more consistent in the gym now. I push myself more. I'm more strong. Like, mentally, I know who I am. Spiritually, I'm connecting with God on the best level possible at the moment. Like, there's just so many good things that are happening in life that it's like, I can't sit here and be like, oh my God, 30 is approaching, because it's like, I'm happy with where I'm at. And if I was to look to 30 and start panicking about 30, first of all, there's nothing to actually panic about. So let's just completely debunk that myth. Like, nothing goes wrong after 30. And everyone that I've spoken to that is 30 plus, by the way, they've all literally said everything goes uphill from here on out. So it's like, do you really need to be stressing about 30? And like, where does that even come from? I think it's like old age. My sister-in-law actually brought up a really, really, really good point a while back, and it's like, some of the statistics that we have nowadays and some of the, I guess, ideas or the theories or the mentality that we've got is based on the time where women only lived until they were like 50. You know, I'm talking about way back. We're throwing it all the way back right now. Women were living to like 50, 60. So of course 30 was like midlife crisis, because you genuinely were midlife. Like, that was when you panicked. And I think we have stuck with that tradition. I say in quotation marks, we stick with that. We've stuck with that tradition because it kind of just worked at that time, but it doesn't now. It doesn't apply anymore. So if you're 30, if you're 29, if you're 28, 27, even if you're fucking anywhere in your 20s and you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, like when I'm 20, I'm going to be panicking because, oh God, like things just go downhill for me. First of all, drama queen, calm down. Calm down. Okay, nothing goes wrong when you hit 30. And I'm not saying that from experience. Obviously, I'm 29. Depending on which calendar you're going off of. But I'm 29 and I feel quite comfortable. Like, I'm well aware that I can push myself more. If anything, I'm actually more excited for the future than nervous about it. And I think maybe that is the kind of mindset that we need to be adapting. Instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so scared to turn 30, this thing's gonna go bad, or my body's gonna start falling apart. How about you push your body harder the more you approach that age? How about you go after your dreams with more certainty? How about you, this is genuinely your sign. If you're watching this right now and you're like, oh my God, like this video is for me. As you start to approach the age of 30, this is the prime time for you to seriously hone in on the woman that you want to be, or the man that you want to be. Like, this is genuinely the time for you to start buckling down, okay? And seriously giving it the time and attention that it deserves, you the time and attention that you deserve. Because I feel like if we have this fear about turning 30, maybe we should flip that fear. Maybe we should make a conscious decision. You need to make a conscious decision, okay, that 30 is not where it stops for you, it's actually where it starts. And you need to, where is the book? I think it's downstairs. I'm reading a book by an amazing friend of mine, Kate, and she literally, first of all, she's just been the biggest fucking hype woman with my business. Like, doesn't matter what business I'm doing, she's like, go Nye. Like, she messages me all the time and she's like, you got this. And she doesn't live in London, she's outside of London, but when she comes to London we'll probably meet up. But she's just amazing. Anyway, she's written a book about this fear that we have about turning 30. Like, we think everything's gonna just fucking fall apart, and that's genuinely not how it works. Like, if your life's falling apart as you approach 30 or when you hit 30, it's probably because you've done something, or because things are happening for you that are going to reveal something later down the line that's going to end up benefiting your life in the end anyway. But it's not, because there's no like correlation with you being 30 and shit going down. I just wanted to make that very clear. But I have heard a lot of the time from people that there is a correlation with you turning 30 and shit going good. So I'm kidding, there's no correlation, but we can only assume that it must be like a placebo effect. Like, you assume that once you hit a certain age, you just change your energy. And I think that's a conscious / subconscious thing. Like, we assume that once you hit 30, a lot of the time you think that people are going to be, you know, shit's going to go wrong for you, like you're going to lose friends or whatever else. And I feel like maybe rather than looking at it as I'm losing friends when I hit 30, how about you look at it as I'm refining the people that are in my circle? Or, you know, I don't have the husband and the family and the child and the house that I wanted. How about you look at it as instead of I don't have the ideal partner, because I'm single right now, so I'm not looking at it as like, oh, I don't have the ideal partner because no one wants me. I'm looking at it as maybe that I need to refine the way that I view relationships, or the way that I am approaching dating. Like, take responsibility and ownership of the next progressive steps of your life, because it's not, oh, I'm turning 30, shit's gonna go bad. It's, I'm turning 30, will I make things go well, or will I make things go wrong? Like, it's completely up to you. And I think we have to start taking ownership back of our lives. Like, this idea that 30 is where, you know, things just go downhill, I think it's bullshit. I really, really do. I think you have complete ownership of your life. It is all you. You are driving the car, and you've been acting like a passenger for a minute. So I don't know who needs to hear this right now. And if you're watching this and you're nodding your head and it resonates, you're not alone. There are a group of people in this world that have this fear of becoming a 30-year-old woman who doesn't have X, Y, Z. I believe that when we hit 30, it's all an expectation. You are expecting that things are going to go downhill, or you are expecting that you should have everything planned out by the time you reach 30. And it's okay if you don't. Like, it's absolutely fine. Okay, look at the camera now. It's absolutely fine if you do not have every single thing planned out by the time you hit 30. There is no rule book for it. There is no rule book for life, just like there isn't one for parenting, just like there isn't one for being a daughter or a mother or a sister. There is no rule book on how you should be existing. You get to create the rule book. You get to write down the rules. You get to make things up as you go along. So why not write a story that positively works in your favor, that benefits you and helps you grow as an individual, as opposed to looking at it as, I'm a victim, things keep happening to me instead of for me, there's nothing I can do, everything's out of my control. That is a lie. That is not true. And that is how things go wrong, when you feel like you don't have control, because then you're just leaving it up to chance. And if you just, everything in your life, it might not always work out in your favor. So I feel like I just rambled in this video, but I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are. Until next time, besitos.